Welcome to the Grand Asia Open 2025 here in the Philippines. And we're starting off day one with One Piece card game. By the way, my name is Max, and we also have here,
I'm RJ Jacinto.
and we're going to start off our tournaments with an awesome start with Luffy versus Luffy. But before we proceed on that, I'm actually super excited because we have 348 attendance. That's a lot of players. And how many? How's our tournament set up here today?
Yeah, so our format for today, there will be 8 rounds of Swiss, and there will be a top 16 top cut. And the top 2 of the top cut will move on to the GAO finals, or the Grand Asia Open finals.
Oh, that's nice. And as far as I remember, the defending champion that we have here is Raf Terra, right?
A Bonnie player.
And a Bonnie. And I think he's still using Bonnie today. And let's see if he will be able to defend his crown as the Grand Asia Open champion for the Philippines. Game number 1, again, that's Green Purple Luffy versus Blue Purple Luffy. Round number 1, take it away, RJ.
All right, so it looks like they have already started in a 9K attack from the green purple. You are the green purple player here.
Yeah.
So who has the advantage here on paper, or theoretically, who has the advantage here?
Well, when it comes to consistency, I'm gonna go ahead with I'm gonna put my vote to Blue Purple Luffy, especially if this player will be able to proceed with getting that 8 done at the early part of the stage, right?
The safe zone of Purple Luffy, the wall of Luffy.
That's right, because you're gonna start off your game mid-game with drawing at least two cards, not just draw. You'll be able to select two of your cards that you'll draw, and you'll be able to, sort it out or put it at the bottom of the deck as well. So pretty interesting as well that Green Purple Luffy still has their way on winning against Purple Luffy, or I mean Blue Purple Luffy, because Green Purple Luffy has the power of aggression, right? It has access for the Sanji Pudding, who controls the dons at the board and gives them an extra draw, right, for their match. And let's not forget the MVP for this matchup for Green Purple Luffy, which is the secret rare Luffy 6 cost, which gives them an additional attack whenever they attack with a cost of 1 life. If ever Blue Purple Luffy tries to starve
and as
their
you
opponent.
mentioned, the Green Purple played his first character. He missed the Sorojuro turn, and it looks like he managed to get a Sanji and Pudding. And this is the power of Sanji and Pudding. It gives you more value to your Don. You can restand and get 1 from the ability, and so that will help him deal some damage to that Blue Purple. But the problem is, I think, is when Katakuri is already established on the side of Blue Purple. How do you deal with that? 8 cost that can attack and restand on his own at the end of his turn. So technically, there's no cons, and also getting 1 done rested at the end of his turn. So how do you deal with that as Green Purple?
Well, it depends as well with your board state. You have to overwhelm your opponent with your board state. You have to play a lot more characters than the
Players,
Purple
if there are
Luffy
anyone
on the field.
who have
So,
no
for example, in this
opponents,
current scenario, he doesn't have any Zoro Juros, he doesn't
kindly
have any
approach
Frankies,
the
which is
judges'
actually a
table
really tight
and
spot for
report
Green Purple Luffy.
your result
Even though that he
here.
has a stage to protect his characters on the field, he still needs to put more aggression by putting a lot of characters on the field. But let's hope that he will have that Luffy Taro available for the next turn once he gets that 7 or 8 Dawn turn.
Yeah, because that's the power of, or that's the perfect scenario for Blue Purple Luffy. You are in your 8 Dawn turn, getting 2 cards per turn, and then you have a lot of hand cards. And currently, he is healthy, just 1 damage taken with the earlier 9K attack. And looks like the search for Nami, he went for a Sanji.
All right, so he's gonna
So
try to.
does that mean he have another big characters on his hand? Because usually you look for another Sanji and Pudding, right?
That's right.
Either he missed the Sanji and Pudding, or he do have multiple Sanji and Pudding on his hand.
That's
Currently, we
right.
can see the opening hand, but I see some Robin on the edge of this hand card, and I see a Sanji on the hand of Purple Luffy. 3 Dawn, the Flamingo. Actually, this one, an old card that was part of the initial list for Blurple, and then was taken out and then put back in again. He has multiple copy of Doflamingo. Usually it's just one off.
Yeah,
And
and let's not forget that he has this tech card, which is Mihawk. Mihawk is actually a pretty good card against Green Purple Luffy because it
7
targets
costs,
7 costs.
even
Even
with
though that you
Mary. Yeah.
have the stage, which is Going Merry, which adds 2 costs on the Sanji Pudding, he will be able to remove that with just putting a big body on the field
Yeah.
and removing 1 from his opponent. So he might have the biggest upper hand here if he will be able to sort the deck or the top 5 cards using that Doflamingo blocker. So,
Looks like he's playing Bonchan.
yep,
Okay,
that's right. So he
Bonchan.
will ramp up so that he will be able to activate his ability at the later turn. So most probably he's currently at 9 Dons right now. So
Yep.
next turn he will be able to add 2
2 cards. Yeah.
cards on his hand. So this is now a very tight spot in green purple with green purple Luffy.
He's healthy.
Based on my experience, if you or if the blue purple Luffy is currently at 8 Dons, it will be a very tough matchup for you since he will be able to sort the top decks. He'll be able to get the Big Mom 9, which helps him control your board. He will be able to have access for Sanji as well.
He do
Which-
have 2 Sanjis on his hand.
That's
now.
right, and he was able to sort the top 5
Five,
cards. So he'll be able to play Mihawk at the later next turn with just
Yeah.
with
Sanji
just
in there.
Sanji, right? So that's 2 big bodies and removing 1 body from the green purple Luffy. Now he has the Sec Luffy.
So whoever is not buffed by that Mary will get bottom, right?
That's
he
right.
he can still reach the Sanji and Pudding,
Mhm.
but he can also target Sek Luffy if he wants to.
That's right. But let's not forget the weakness for both these decks. Both these decks has 1 weakness. They have a lot of cards that doesn't have any counters.
Yeah, the brick.
So,
Both are bricks.
but green purple. Let's not forget that green purple Luffy has access to a very new card from OP-12, which
Yeah, Dead Man's Game.
yep. So
The Hoodie
which
event.
helps him control the dawns that his opponents or Squallops
Also
have
the
on the
blockers.
field.
Oh, maybe that's the reason why they're putting up smaller blockers, because in the before OP-12, the build for Blurple only has Nami and Katakuri as blockers, right?
That's right.
And now they have added Doflamingo. Maybe for that reason that they can fill the board with smaller blockers, so you don't rely to just 1 or 2 blockers and 1 Dawn, so that when Dead Man's Game is played, there's still going to be some protection on the board.
That's right. So now here we go.
First Luffy ability.
That's right. And purple takes up the top 5, and there's 2 Namis, 1 Mihawk, which was sorted earlier.
Yeah.
So this is the right time for him to put that Mihawk at least on the 3rd part
Yeah.
of the deck, or 2nd rather, because he will be able to choose 1 Straw Hat. He'll put it on his hand, and then he'll draw a card. All right, at the start
There's
of his turn.
There's a, was it Judge Call?
No,
no.
they're just checking
Alright.
if that card is part of the deck, and now he's now deciding as well on what to use or what to play or what to add in his hand using that Blurple ability.
Yeah, so I think the best in his top 5, I think it's best to use or to choose Sanji for the leader ability, and then draw that Nami or that Doflamingo, and then put Mihawk. That will put Mihawk on top. Then he can play his Sanji to Mihawk combo. I think the only he can target Sanji and Pudding.
That's right. Because if the Going Mary's target is
He buff Sanji and
Luffy.
Pudding. Yeah.
Oh, that's really unfortunate because
He should have targeted Luffy so that it's protected. Now,
that's right.
either of the 2 can be targeted, but there's a bit of a situation there.
Yep, they're just checking what will be the effect of the card. So now, in my opinion, I think what Nico is thinking here is he'll try to play at least 2 secret rare Luffys. All right, 2 secret rare Luffys for him to be able to put some aggression before Squallops will be able to put more characters on his board.
Yeah.
He has 1 life left.
There you go. Sanji was chosen via leader ability, and I think he put Doflamingo on the top.
That's right. So now this is the best time for him to play Sanji. Now the question will he choose Sanji Pudding or Secret Rare Luffy? Which one would you pick if
I
it's
think
on your part?
I think I'll go with Sanji and Pudding because it gives a lot of value, gives you
Mhm.
more use to your Dawn. With Sec Luffy, you can easily go for it's just a 7k attacker and
Mhm.
also has to take one life every time
Mhm.
he restands. So that would also help you with the aggression. And yeah, he went for the Sanji and Pudding. And now I think oh, both are 7k. I was thinking if you should just attack with Bonchan before you play
Mhm.
Sanji, but both Sanji and Pudding and Sek Luffy are 7k, so it doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
Bonchan can still. Oh, he did not went for an attack.
Yeah,
There's no
mhm.
Dons open, so there's no
There's
Gum Gum
one.
Giant. There's no
There's
on
one.
the side of GP Luffy.
Yeah, that's right. So probably, in my opinion, the best play there from Squallops, he could have bottomed the Secret Rare Luffy. Because
Mhm.
if Nico has multiple copies of Secret Rare Luffys, he'll take at least 5 attacks next turn, and he only has access to one Gum Gum Giants. It could be a lethal
Mm.
turn from him for
Yeah,
him. So
yeah,
now
that
it
also makes sense.
yep, it depends on Nico's decision here if he'll go with that play. But let's not forget that Nico has to consider that there's a Gum Gum Giant available in on
You
play.
always have to respect the Gum Gum Giant.
That's right, because that's plus 4k onto the leader, and
And
he
a
draws
chance
two
to
additional
2K.
cards.
Yeah.
But the point there is he might try to force him with that Gum Gum Giant with at least an 8k attack. All right, after that 8k attack, he's gonna go all in with the Secret Rare Luffy, which gives him the ability of attacking twice, right?
But
With
I'm
that-
surprised that Squallops didn't attack with Bonchan
That's right.
when Nico
True, true.
doesn't have any Dons open,
Mhm.
and that's an easy 2K or at least a take.
Mhm. That's right.
Maybe he's thinking that he doesn't. He wants to starve, thinking that he doesn't want to give a chance for Nico to get a copy of Sanji and Pudding because I think this is Sanji and Pudding is a very critical card for GP Luffy, right? That's their
That's right.
That's the main engine that gives you wide options because of the Dawn restand as well as the returning of return Dawn.
That's right. Also, let's not forget that in this specific matchup, Green Purple Luffy has the capability of finishing an early finish against Blue Purple Luffy, especially there's only one active Dawn.
Yeah.
All right, so it still depends what would be the best decision here for Nico. He has 7 active Dawns. All right, so a total of 3 attacks, possibly, or 4 if he will put at least 4 Dawns onto Nami. But that's not really a great suggestion. So he'll add at least 2 costs onto the Luffy. He's gonna gamble. He's gonna go for at least
11K.
11k onto the leader. Activates the leader effect, takes 1 life, and
Wow.
reactives his leader. Now this is a really tough spot for Squallops. Do we see a Gum Gum Giant? No,
doesn't
there's
have any
no
Gum Gum
Gum Gum Giants, and this is actually a pretty tight spot from the Blue Purple Luffy.
But he can
Squallops.
guard. Yeah, he can guard. He has 2 2K and 2 1K.
That's right.
But that gives Nico the hint that he doesn't have anymore or he doesn't have a Gum Gum Giant because if this is a normal and you have a Gum Gum Giant, you will immediately play a Gum Gum Giant here.
That's right. So that's
Because-
already 10k, right? With
Yeah.
G2Ks.
And now Nico knows that that one Don is a bluff because he can just go all in. He's still safe. If that one Don is a real Gum Gum Giant on Nico's side, he is kind of safe, 2 lives. And there you go.
I think this is already checkmate. If Nico will go 7k with the leader,
Yeah.
Squallops won't be able to guard,
Wait.
and then he will go
If
ahead.
that life is a Gum Gum Giant, that
Alright.
would change the course of this
That's right.
match.
Oh, he passed the turn.
He did not even go for 6K.
Well, it's a gamble. It's a gamble since there's still one active Dawn, right? Especially if there's no Gum Gum Giants on hand.
But I mean,
Still.
a 6K, a vanilla 6K attack that resulted to a Gum Gum Giant is a win.
Well-
I mean, you at least you made him use a Gum Gum Giant.
That's right, but he's trying to conserve the Dawn. Especially there's no Sanji Pudding. He did not use the leader ability this turn.
I did not. Yeah, they
That's
did
right.
not.
So what
I
he'll
thought
just
he
need to do.
returned from the Sec Luffy ability.
That's right. What he just needs to do here is he'll try to protect himself from 4 attacks. So he needs to be careful here because there's only 2 lives left for Nico. 1 active Dawn for only 1 Gum Gum Giant, but there's also access for a Pudding on display. Will he play Pudding? There you go. A Pudding was played.
2, 3,
Nico
4, 5,
will
6,
shuffle
7, 8.
his hand onto
That's
the deck.
9 cards. I counted how
right.
many cards that he has. That's 9 cards. 4 is technically discarded. But this is a gamble. He can draw multiple 2Ks and a Gum Gum Giant.
Exactly.
But it all depends on RNG now. Well, I think Squallops thought that this would be the last turn anyways. So he went for the kill. Well, he
I
can
think he-
always pivot because he has 2 big bodies that can attack that Sec Luffy anyways.
That's right.
So he can try to push with a 7K attack on the Bonchan. And also, he still have 5 dons remaining. But he has to be careful there. Again, Dead Man's Game is a possibility also.
That's right.
So he can go for Doflamingo and still up 2 dons.
All right, he was able to get a Gum Gum Giant, but there's no other cards with a counter value. I think there's only one after the Gum Gum Giant.
Is that a Robin beside the Going Merry?
I'm not entirely sure,
Oh,
but
that's
again,
event.
That-
The Pirates Searcher,
that's right.
Going Merry, Gum Gum Giant, and I think another brick. And there you go, the first
All right.
Gum Gum Giant.
All right, he's going to remove 2 Dons, which is required for a Gum Gum Giant. Will he trash a Going Merry? There you go. He will draw 2 cards. What would it be? He needs at least 2 2K counters to make the Luffy survive.
Chopper. OP-07 Chopper. The fake straw hat.
All right.
Oh,
Oh no, a Luffy Taro.
So those
No
are
counter
bricks.
values.
Yeah,
No
those are-
counter values.
Those are bricks.
That's right. So he'll give that
He went for-
Luffy
he
up.
went for- so I think Doflamingo plus 2 Dons will be the play for Squallops here. He's just playing it safe. He doesn't have any more lives.
He'll
5
go
Dons?
for Nami. He'll go for Nami.
This is
draws
dangerous
3.
For if he managed to get Dead Man's Game, I think that would be. How many Dons does he have? 5 Dons only. No, it won't be lethal.
The only attack that he'll be able to make is around 8 or 7K.
But that is
If that happens.
guardable.
Especially there's multiple hand cards here for Squallops.
He do have. I know that he do have 2 Doflamingo on his hand.
All right, which is a 1K counter, right?
Yeah. So if he managed to go for 8K, I think he can guard it with just 1 case. 2 1K. Now, Squallops know Nico doesn't have any 2K counters on his hand.
All right,
With
so
just 5 Dons, how do you navigate this one?
all right, so I think Nico will try to pivot onto a safer play here, since he might be
You have a
able to
Gum Gum.
search.
Now the 1 Don bluff is real. He do have a Gum Gum Giant on his hand.
All right, so he's gonna search. What would be the best choice here for Nico?
I think,
Well, if he'll be able to choose for dead guy, he's gonna pivot to a blocker and attack for 6K. At least he'll be able to get at least 1K counter out of Squallop Sand. This is a really tight position here for Nico. Will Nico be able to capitalize after this
I think
choice
this will
that
be
he
the
made?
last turn.
That's right.
Even with Gum Gum Giant, there's 2 big bodies. Well, 2 lives.
Well, it's pretty tight for him because if he will be able to survive with the help of Gum Gum Giants, he will only have at least 5 Dons or 4 Dons at the next turn, which is actually not really, giving him a big, a huge comeback against the Blur Pro Luffy. So,
Just
Squallops.
7K. Also, Nico didn't use his leader ability, so he's now just a 5K, and that would be kind of bad for him because at least 3 cards is needed to guard those 2 9Ks, and he managed to get another defensive card with Gear 2 using the leader ability. And I think there's a possibility that this might be the last turn. He do have 1 Gum Gum Giant, 1 2K. Oh, Why did he trash that one?
All right. Most probably, it's all right. There's no problem with that. And well, for me, in my opinion, this is already
It looks
game.
like he's playing. He will play Sanji. I mean, with the decision to trash Pudding.
Yep. He needs to
might
play
be
Sanji
playing-
first.
Yeah, he might.
All right.
So does that mean we will be seeing Big Mom?
Yes, most probably for sure. Nico on a really big disadvantage here. But if you're gonna ask me, like what I mentioned earlier, this is already
6K.
Squallop's game because
He
no
will not-
bodies on
He
field.
will not finish it.
Yeah, well, definitely he will not finish it. But again, he doesn't have any bodies on the field. He'll take 2 9Ks. And Squallops will heal up using Big Mom. He'll play another Sanji, which is already a game for Squallops.
Yeah.
All right, Nico, tight spot for him. If you're gonna ask me if I was playing GP Luffy or Green Purple Luffy earlier, I'm gonna go for all in, because that's gonna be my last turn.
Yeah.
Based on my experience against Purple Luffy, you have to finish it early. Because if you put the game at the later, later
You
part,
can go in a late game against Blurple. That's where Blurple Luffy shines the most.
that's right. Unless you have Brook 6 cost, which adds minus 2K power on each characters.
And yeah, it looks like he will be playing Sanji into a Big Mom here, just making it safe.
That's right. Since Nico only has access for 5 dons,
Yeah.
no Luffy rush available. So there's only one attack. He's gonna heal up for 1. He has access for 1 don. So he's already secured for next turn.
Yeah, even with Dead Man's game now, he can only rest that Nami and that Dawn. Squallops can just take. There's only one attacker. I think there's no card that can make Luffy Green restand, unlike Zoro and Uta.
That's right.
Zoro, Luffy's going to be the Pirate King, only works for Zoro, right? The
That's right.
OP-12 one.
That's right. So now Nico might concede here or might
Yeah.
try to go all in.
But even with an all-in 1 life, he'll just Squallops can just take it, and
He's
he
gonna
went-
draw a card. Will it be a Hail Mary for him to survive next turn? He's gonna use the leader ability, so there will be 3 active dons left for him. He might be able to play a Chopper, and then 1 active don for a Gum Gum Giant as well.
But how many hand cards does he have? 4? If my count is correct, there should be just 4 cards on Nico's hand. And with 4 hand cards, Gum Gum Giant, -2 + 4, just 6K, 9K, 9K. 4 9K with just 1 blocker. I'm not sure if there's any way that you can survive this one.
All right. He did play a Chopper, so he'll gain 1 more Dawn. But then again, because of that Blurple Luffy ability, Squallops will be able to choose 2 more hand cards for the next turn.
Would have been better if he managed to get Usohachi, but it looks like he went for Franosuke, the OP-05 with Rush.
All right, so imagine 4 big bodies attacking Nico. This
6K.
with 1 life.
He's playing with Nico now. 6K. Maybe
Yeah. He is thinking if there's multiple counters, but Nico already took it. From that point,
there's only 4 hand cards.
that's right. For that point, he'll be able to force
I mean,
Nico for Gum Gum
even
Giant.
if you don't use Dons, it's going to be a checkmate.
That's right.
Because the next 9K, he has to block now. He
That's
doesn't
right.
have. And there you go. Just go for a 19K. Who doesn't want to?
All right,
But
that's
there he
game.
goes. Congratulations to Squallops winning round number 1 against Nico. The Blurple Luffy still proves that it is the best deck of the format here in OP-12.
That's right. Congratulations again for Squallops for getting game number 1 for the Grand Asia Open. He will be a little
Moving
bit closer to becoming a champion. He just needs to be more consistent. For